These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Yes, this Reckless Speculation Thursday and Scoop Session.
Reckless Speculation.
Presented today by Nicolay Law, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily and other Score North podcasts. Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life can come to a stop. Things can get complicated. And during that time, insurance companies might be likely to pressure you. But that's where Nicolay Law comes in with all sorts of experience in the Twin Cities area. Just a bunch of normal folks, T-shirt and jeans folks at Nicolay Law who love the communities that they live in, love Minnesota sports, happen to have law degrees, though, to help you get the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay at nicolaylaw.com or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY. Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department.
Happy
Hello,
Reckless
Darren.
Speculation Thursday. Always good to see your pretty faces.
Yeah. Well, Vikings have a preseason game this weekend here, and we don't know yet what the quarterback load and share is going to be here. But let's start with JJ McCarthy. He seems very seasoned at the podium. I can see how, and we're watching him take 2 steps forward, 1 step back at practice, just like any 21-year-old quarterback would. But I can see, Doogie, how JJ McCarthy, over the course of a full day with the Vikings staff in Ann Arbor, going around to his favorite lunch sandwich shop over here, little whiteboard session. Like, I see how well he connects with people that he doesn't know who are lobbing questions at him, the sports dads of the world. And he's a very impressive young man that I could see how the Vikings would fall in love with that side of him behind the scenes.
He's polished. He reminds me of Royce Lewis.
Yeah.
Now, there was a part of me, being the skeptic I am, early on with Royce. I'm like, is this real? Is this genuine? Like, there's no way he can be this polished. Is there a fakeness at all? No. That's who Royce is. Royce is the real deal. I'm convinced, more so based on some other conversations, although I sat down with JJ immediately after the draft. The eye contact, the detailed answers he gave me, the conversation we had off mic. Yes, there is so much to like about JJ McCarthy, the person. You would have no idea that he's only, as you said, Phil, 21 years old. It's also easy to see how guys gravitated toward him. IMG Academy, University of Michigan, that he's won multiple national championships, high school, then college. Not hard to figure out some of the why involved with that.
He also is wired like a quarterback. And that might sound weird, but like we've seen guys that are talented football players and have good arms, but they don't really command a room. They might try to make it up as they go. They might try to reinvent themselves. McCarthy, for a 21-year-old kid, when you see him deal with teammates, the media, all of those things, to me, that's also just like you either have that or you don't. The really interesting thing about this kid, though, is, and he talks about this openly, Dukes, is how he battled depression. Like in 2020, IMG, he's basically alone, can't see his family, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I was down. Like I was really, depressed. Gets online, looks up, what he can do to help himself. And you might think, well, that sounds sort of weird. No, like to me, that's super impressive. This kid is smart. And this is what I like. If he has the talent, which I think he does, he's got the intangibles and the it factor as a human to be a quarterback. I don't know about you guys, but in retrospect, like when it came to Ponder, who was a nice kid, I now realize I really didn't know what I was looking at. Like by this point now, I've seen more QB personalities, right? And when it came to Christian, he probably could have played football and he probably could have played a different position, but he really wasn't wired as a quarterback. He didn't have that confidence. So I've just been really impressed that McCarthy is seemingly the complete package. Incredibly important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out if he has any flaws. Like, he meditates, which is fine. Like, I credit him for putting that emphasis on his mental health. Yes, imagine, back at IMG, COVID still a thing, although maybe not as much in Florida, right? But still just a difficult time to navigate leaving home in Illinois. But yeah, realizing, hey, like if I meditate, that is going to help me. He still meditates a lot to this day. But I'm just telling you, like, I don't know. Are there any flaws there? I mean, we can nitpick on the field, right? Footwork this, decision-making that. It wasn't a great day of practice yesterday, for example, which is okay, right? Phil, you said it. Couple steps forward, step backwards, right? And hey, he had a step backwards yesterday. That's okay. But like, I'm trying to figure out if there are any flaws. I don't know if there are. I've talked to a number of people close to him, and hey, I get it. Even on background, are they really going to volunteer to me that, hey, JJ has this flaw or that flaw? Maybe not. Okay, I understand that, but I don't know if there are flaws there. Like, to me, he is in many ways the total package.
I would say just generally, provided that you meet the physical criteria needed, you can make the throws needed physically, right? There's always mechanical things to work on, but provided that you are big enough, athletic enough, and can make the NFL throws needed. To me, the two main reasons why young quarterbacks fail are, one, the infrastructure around them sets them up to fail. Bad head coach, coordinator, all the Sam Darnold stuff from the Jets. Maybe your weapons are garbage. Your offensive line, you're basically stuck before you get out of the gate. But the second thing is mentality, where you aren't able to handle the inevitable failure that goes into your first training camp, your first season, the speed of the game, and all those things. And so, like, if those are the two main factors, bad infrastructure or unable to handle adversity mentally, I think JJ McCarthy is in a good spot to, like, the infrastructure here is better than New England, certainly, and some of the other places that we're drafting quarterbacks. And he seems like he's very much mature beyond his years from an EQ standpoint, just his emotional intelligence, Doogie. So doesn't mean that he doesn't have flaws, but I feel like he has the things around him, externally and internally, to overcome whatever hurdles would be thrown in front of him.
I agree. There's a reason why his camp circled the Vikings. Yeah, maybe there was some interest in the Giants, but more than anything, like, there is a genuineness when he said, hey, post-draft, this is where I wanted to be. The infrastructure has a lot to do with that. Now, we don't know so much on the adversity. Yeah, we can see how he's bounced back after a bad day of practice, but how does he bounce back after a bad game? Because he hasn't had many bad games. So I'll be curious on that. But there's something to be said about having that mental makeup. I think about the ultimate example being Peyton Manning. Was it an NFL record interceptions his rookie year?
28.
It's terrible.
28? Okay, I'm sure you guys have cited that previously. So, that's the ultimate example. I get that. But, like, does he have that sort of mental makeup? Whenever he gets in there, we know the JJ McCarthy era is going to begin at some point. I still think it'll be Sam Darnold on September 8th, but at some point it's going to be JJ McCarthy's team. And inevitably, he's going to struggle. How does he respond to that? I guess I'll be curious to see that. And I don't know. Maybe that is a flaw. Maybe we'll see that play out, and maybe he struggles in that regard. But just the way he is wired, as you said, Judd, I'm not sure he's going to fail. I really don't.
Small sample size, but I will say that we got at least a little bit of a taste of what you're talking about, Darren. Friday's practice, yesterday he wasn't good. Friday he was flat out bad, okay? So like he didn't have a great practice on Wednesday, but he's bad on Friday. Comes back on Saturday and I think has his best practice. And he talked about it in the presser yesterday and flat out said, you know what? I was bad, but I learned a ton from it. Again, I think he might be the greatest guy on the face of the earth off the field. I don't know, but all I care about is what he does as a quarterback. And I love the mentality of a 21-year-old kid because he didn't come back on Saturday and struggle and then say, but I learned a lot on Friday. He actually came back and was great. So like small sample size, I think that there is a lot to be encouraged about here. And Phil's right too. He is in an environment with a coach who has seen good quarterbacks be set up to fail. So O'Connell being an advocate to me is huge. I think I'd be far more concerned about what you're talking about, Dukes, if he was in like the Patriots system, right? and they're sort of panicked. And McCarthy's a good kid and he's smart, but everything around him is falling apart. The building is collapsing. That's not the problem here. So I do think that this is as good a marriage as you could possibly get.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, think about this key stretch about to begin, not necessarily today, Thursday, which matters, right? Another practice day, but I sense he's going to play a decent amount on Saturday.
Yep.
Then this time next week, joint practices against a pretty darn good defense, the Cleveland Browns. So you think about this stretch, this next week, right? Today into Saturday, into those joint practices in Cleveland next Wednesday and Thursday. But like you talk to people that have been around him all summer. The fact that he spent a good chunk of the summer here in the Twin Cities. Heck, you talk to people out at TPC Twin Cities in Blaine. He goes out there to play a practice round. Jumps into the pond, hole 18, right? He's in his full clothes, right? He jumps in. Like he's one of those dudes, right? You talk to the people at Woodbury High School, the way he interacted, not just with Adam Thielen and Blake Cashman, but with some others and CJ Ham, some others, right? I'm telling you, I have not heard one bad thing about the guy.
Yeah. Any just from both you guys, Judd, injury updates? Do we know where TJ Hockenson's at? The guys that missed I don't want to spoil Judd's camp notes too aggressively for Purple Daily today, but
I was going to sit there and
Jefferson had a personal day. Darrisaw was out for a practice. Okay. Yeah. Give us the rundown.
Those guys are okay.
Here.
I know Jonathan Grenard sat out on Wednesday. I've not heard
Aaron
of that
Jones
being any sort of
sat out.
Big deal. Aaron Jones sat out, more so a vet day, so there's no injury concern on Jones. I was told, Robert Tonyan, I mentioned this on Tuesday, that this is not a long-term type setback with the back, but he may need a little bit more time. On TJ Hockenson, he continues to look great. I don't think we'll see him on the field September 8th, but like instead of end of October or early November, maybe he is back either for that game in London or immediately after the bye. You watch him move, the way he's cutting off to the side. We can't capture video of that. That's against the rules, right? You can't show a guy that's not on, the regular practice field. But we're sitting there watching. We have access to watch, and so we can document in our head the way TJ's looking off to the side. He looks fantastic, Phil. He really does. I mean, we've all been out there. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've all seen it. He looks great. So, I imagine TJ, when Kevin O'Connell told us early in camp, hey, he is ahead of schedule, I've seen that now play out. He absolutely looks to me ahead of schedule for a guy that underwent knee surgery late January. Remember, the injury happened, I think it was Christmas Eve day, and they had to wait a little bit. The surgery didn't take place until late January. So it was almost 5 weeks later for the surgery. So you're talking about February, March, April, May, June, July, whatever that is. But the way he's moving right now, just a handful of months later, super impressive.
And don't forget, too, he tore the ACL and the MCL. So it's
multiple ligaments. Yes.
So yes.
Yep. Good reminder.
O'Connell spoke to the media on Tuesday and essentially said, I got to slow myself down a bit because he looks so good and I'd love to see him play as soon as possible, but we've got a plan here as well. So yes, I would say the moment he is cleared, he's going to play. And could he be cleared quicker? I'm still guessing it's going to be after the bye week. But anyway, long story short, he looks great. I think he'll play sooner than they probably initially expected. And Robert Tonyan has as much of a chance of being on the 53 as Judd Zolgad. So,
wow. So we're just.
Oh, really? You don't think there's a chance, huh?
Zero chance.
I'm not there yet.
Oliver Munt Muse.
Yeah.
Muse has been good.
That
was Muse's job to lose.
Yep.
Yeah. Tonyan and I, we got the same.
Well, I feel like you were all aboard the Tonyan train like a month ago.
And I wasn't aboard the Jones train. Yeah. So like I go out there, Judd's camp notes, they evolve. Like I'm not
you're not stuck to a take.
I'm not out there to prove Judd right. Judd's camp notes every night before I go to bed sits me down and says, remember what you saw is what you talk about. Not as your preconceived notions, Judd.
As Colin Cowherd says, and I always compare Judd and Colin Cowherd, basically the same person.
Thick as thieves.
We're not here to be right. We're here to get it right.
Yep.
That's what we're here for, right?
So yes, I am off the bandwagon on Tonyan. I am on the Aaron Jones bandwagon.
I am not off the Tonyan bandwagon yet. I get it. You have to be out there.
It's a Tonyan train, you guys just said.
The Tonyan train. I'm not I'm not there yet. But fully acknowledging Nick Muse, yeah, they like him a lot. So I get it. If you have Muse above Tunyon right now, fully understand that. Let me also sing the praises. I can't recall if I've done this previously in this space or not. And I still don't know. Is it Asamoah or Asamoah?
Asamoah.
Brian Asamoah or Asamoah?
Asamoah.
Asamoah.
All right, so
They've
third year.
changed it too.
He tore his labrum last year. Like this time last year or even earlier in camp. And he tried to battle through that the duration of the year. Like he was hurt all year. He's healthy now. Mm-hmm. That matters. And I'm not suggesting he's going to play 45 defensive snaps a game, but the impact on special teams as a capable backup,
he'll make it.
Like you think about the 22 draft class, right? And we talk about, okay, Seen in trouble, Booth Jr. in trouble. That next pick, Brian Asamoah, to me, not in trouble. Like he's had a good camp so far.
Agree completely.
Yeah.
Agree completely. But the best player from that draft class, could it be Jalen Naylor by the time the season is done?
Oh,
why are you sleeping on Caleb Evans?
He might not start.
I think they're going to start a Caleb. My problem with him, can he stay healthy?
Do you think?
Well, and Phil might be right. I
we
think
can say that about a lot of guys, but sure.
I think, yeah, but I mean, he's gotten concussion problems before. I'm just saying, I think the more
I'm more worried about the performance. He was benched twice last year.
Well, that too. I'm just saying, it's a Jalen Naylor.
I mean, right now, is it possible
he's the number 3 receiver right now?
That your starting cornerbacks in the nickel are Shaq Griffin, provided health, Byron Murphy Jr. in the slot, and Fabian Moreau on the outside? Or do you think could Fabian Moreau be a starting cornerback over a Caleb Evans? Is my question.
Could be.
Yes, he could. Yes.
Yeah.
Just a dude they picked up less than 2 weeks ago. Hey, before we get to the rest of Doogie's scoop bag here, speaking of places that get it right, we're all aboard the Finch Home Solutions train. It's a Finch festival. It's a festivus for the. Just talk about Finch Home Solutions.
Cody Finch is great. So there you see the trucks going out to work to fix any electrical needs that you might have. And I got some exciting news. So was on a call with Cody a couple of days ago and found out that Finch is now a certified dealer and installer of Gemstone Lights, which is permanent holiday lighting. Now, before you say sports, Dad, don't be talking Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's summer, okay? First of all, permanent holiday lighting means that you don't have to get up on the roof when it's cold out because it's permanent. It's always there. Also, here's the other thing. The lights, they're like LED lights. You can change the colors. In other words, let's say the Vikings are playing a big game on Sunday. On Saturday night,
love this.
Purple lights. Purple lights all over your house. Halloween theme lights. So we're not just talking Christmas here. We are talking a lighting system that your neighbors are going to be like, holy cow, Ted, where did you get that? And you're going to say Finch Home Solutions or Bill or whatever it is. Finch Home Solutions.
Bob, Frank.
Bill and Ted.
612-357-2604. FinchHomeSolutions.com. FinchHomeSolutions.com. And make sure when you get those lights installed, you tell them that the Purple Daily guys turned you onto the fact that you have a Vikings themed home on weekends now.
Yeah, you could do Twins lights too, or you could just go to the ballpark and watch this incredible 4-game series that we hope is incredible anyways, with the Guardians coming to town. Twins.com/tickets, 612 Saturday, which is a $6 beer, $1 snack, $2 food, and also Sundays are kids' days, plus the doubleheader tomorrow. Guardians, Twins, division on the line. And then, by the way, the Royals, this is the biggest week stretch of games of the season here. Twins.com/tickets. All right,
I'll be there on Saturday. Twins
go.
Hall of Fame.
Terry Ryan.
Night. Terry Ryan just got off a call with Terry this morning. Over 50 family and friends. So, I mean, there's many that reside here in the Twin Cities, but over 50 family and friends coming to town. He's from southern Wisconsin, so he still has grade school friends. He's 70 now, but still some people he's maintained contact with, friends going back, 62 years, 61 years, whatever it is, somewhere in that range. And he's got some friends coming in. So he's blown away by 50 people coming into town, plus all the other people that are already in town for Saturday. Also, I had to ask Terry about, so Rick Stelmazik, may he rest in peace, first coach to go into the Twins Hall of Fame. Terry actually fired Stelly back in 2012.
That's right.
And so, Terry was open about that. He said about the toughest part of the job when you either call a player to tell him, hey, I traded you, or you bring Stelly into your office and say, hey, we're not renewing your contract. We are letting you go, essentially firing you. We don't want you back, right? But he still has the utmost respect for Stelly. And, hey, you could have Glenn Perkins come on, our mutual friend, or any number of other, Twins luminaries. They will tell you just the difference maker that Stelly was. On the Twins injury front, Declan, I've not heard back yet on the Brock Stewart MRI front, so I'm still waiting to hear on that, although he's not going to be back anytime soon. Joe Ryan, right triceps tightness, will undergo an MRI today. I think best case scenario, we're looking at a 15-day IL stint. So you think about this stretch like Monday against the Royals. How nice would it be for Joe Ryan to start that game on Monday at Target Field against the Royals? That seems unrealistic at this point, but there was a decent amount of optimism post-game yesterday in Chicago that a long-term setback has been avoided, but still, he'll get some testing done today to get to the bottom of it.
Fingers crossed there.
Yeah, and Carlos Correa still isn't sprinting, so he's not going to be back, like tomorrow. How great would it be to have Correa in the lineup tomorrow against Cleveland for those two games? Now, hopefully he's back relatively soon, but it's not going to be like in the next 24 hours because he still needs to sprint. There's still a good amount of discomfort. I think this thing is lingering longer than he had initially thought. Byron Buxton, his back acted up on the plane ride to Chicago. So he had that play on Sunday at Target Field, and next thing you know, they get on the airplane Sunday night to fly to Chicago for that first game Monday at Wrigley. Even the 1 hour plane ride, just the back locked up a little bit, just dealing with a back issue. He'll get some treatment today with hope that he'll be back in the lineup heck as soon as tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, really, really soon.
Okay. Dukes, do we know on Correa, like what is because he clearly played through the pain of this and it hurt him a year ago. So he's trying to get through to a place where he's comfortable. But my understanding is with this, until it tears, it's not, it doesn't begin to heal. So like, do we know what the threshold of, okay, now he's going to try to play is? Because I fear if they're like the pain is gone, that's not going to happen until it tears.
Agreed.
That's going to take some time then.
He's going to have to play through some level of pain. It is not going to be completely healed. Let's say he's back in the Twins lineup on Monday against the Royals or middle of next week, or who knows, maybe even Sunday if, a minor miracle occurs. But relatively soon, at some point this month, Correa back in the Twins lineup, yeah, he's not going to be 100%. To me, though, like, okay, he played through a good amount of pain last year, and it was double play upon double play, rolling over the ball, a lot of ground balls.
Yes.
So is that what we're going to see? I mean, I guess he knows, right? But yeah, I mean, that's a fascinating question. I don't have the direct answer outside of he's not going to be 100% before this season is over.
Yeah. Dukes, we got to run here, but great catching up on this Reckless Speculation Thursday.
Sounds good. Tim Connolly just arrived in Paris.
Okay.
So you've got France, you've got USA, unfortunately not Canada, and unfortunately not Australia, although not like Joe Engels was playing. Heck, not like Rudy Gobert is playing either, or even Nikhil Alexander-Walker, but Tim Connolly over there to watch specifically Anthony Edwards semifinals, then what should be the gold medal game this weekend. So the Wolves have a nice contingent over in Paris.
Love it, man. Anthony Edwards leading Team USA in scoring average right now.
And congratulations to Greg Farnham, great guy. Got a promotion with the Wolves. His title now is VP of Medical Services. Yeah. So nice promotion for longtime Wolves trainer. They now have somebody else that's technically the Wolves trainer. Greg elevated to a VP title. Good guy.
Climbing on up. He is Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department every Tuesday and Thursday here on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and
speaking of the Wolves, Phil, very realistic. I mean, we said it, middle of last year, the way the Wolves were playing, number one seed in the Western Conference for 4.5 months, that the Wolves are going to play on Christmas Day. So we should have some official word on that. I know Mark Stein had a note on that in his online column going back a week or so, but that's always seemed incredibly realistic. The amount of eyeballs, the popularity of Anthony Edwards. There are 10 teams. There are 5 games, 10 teams play on Christmas Day. So very realistic to think that the Wolves will be one of the 10 teams that plays on Christmas Day later this year.
Love it. Let's make that happen. Come on, Adam Silver. That's all we need. You got the TV deals done.
I like
Anthony
the chances.
Edwards on Christmas.
Put it that
Yep.
way.
All right. He's Darren Doogie Wolfson.
All right, boys.
We've got Purple Daily, the return of our guy Thorn Eystrom, a Thor's Day today on Purple Daily. So
Biggest
check that
JJ
out.
McCarthy fan I know. Enjoy it.
And then Flagrant Howls recapping the Team USA semifinal with Kyle Teige. This is Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd.